Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Monday night, July the 18th. These are the charts of the day. As promised, we're going to go with the box of shorts. The market had another difficult day, and we may not be done yet on the downside, but I did want to at least show you the progress of the some of the charts in our list. Akamai, ever since the big breakdown and snap back to resistance here in February, has been trending lower. We had a little bit of a three-wave corrective rally here, but then the stock came down, broke support again, 1, 2, 3 times, could not get through it, and then rolled over. Another bounce to the short-term intra-channel declining tops line and moving average has resulted in another rollover, and it doesn't look like this stock is done yet on the downside. If we step back here and check out the pattern here, it looks like the bottom of the channel down around 24.5 may be doable. ASMI, which has rolled over from its head and shoulders type topping pattern, it's been coming down steadily, almost stair-step every single day. Not sure how much more downside it has before it can snap back, but with today's heavy downside volume of 178,000, which is relatively heavy for that stock, you'll see that the stock may have met its near-term target, although from a measured move standpoint, although maybe a possible test of these highs down here around 25.5 could possibly be in the cards, provided the market continues to trend lower. Capital One Financial, big, massive head and shoulders top over the last 6 months or so. Looks like they're pressing and testing the key lateral support around the 47 and change level, and today's low 47.55, bounce right off of that. But if it does crack, we could see a quick move into the low 40s. Cree continues to look ugly and in the down channel, and as you can see, it's dropped from 72 down to 30, and it continues to look lower. Now, the way I have it drawn in, there is some support down around the 26.5 range, which would be my target on this one going forward, although it has been as high as in the 83 range in early 2010, and it's come all the way down to 30. I'm not sure it's done yet. Former portfolio short CYD, which was a successful pop down here, has rallied back to resistance, which is both price and gap resistance here, as well as moving average resistance and trend line resistance, failed right here. Now, there possibly could be head and shoulders forming here if it can reverse here to the upside. I don't see it. I think we may see more downside on CYD, and we may see it in around the 16 range before too long. CYME, massive head and shoulders top perhaps forming. Here's your left shoulder, right head and right shoulder complex. Neckline right here. Immediate move could be down to 40.5, 41. Secondary target in the 35.6 range. Diodes. After a big move up, the stock came down, gapped down hard, and then snapped back to resistance, failed, and rolled over. Look what's happening here. Got a little micro flag forming. Looks like it wants to go lower. My immediate target, about 21.75. Secondary target, potentially at the bottom of what looks like a new channel forming, down around perhaps 19. Let's say 19 is our target for DIOD. Dolby's, which is about on my bear list for a year now, continues to look ugly. Formed a bear flag here, and at the top of the channel could roll over and spike down to the bottom of that channel, down around the 34 range. Ultimately, at some point, there is a big line of support apparently on the charts in this range here, 34. So that would be my target. Dawson Geophysical. After the big break in May, the bounce back to resistance failed. It rolled over, made a nominal new low, bounced back, and then pulled back down. Now, it could be a little head and shoulders, but I don't see the volume pattern there. It more looks like it looks more of a wedge pattern and a consolidation before the next leg down, which could get it down into the mid-20s. FDS, FactSet Research, rolling over from a head and shoulders top as well. Cracked the neckline recently here, and it's been trending lower. Now we may be at the bottom or near the bottom of the channel around 91, but any rally back to the mid-90s could be cause for shorting with eventual target down in the mid-80s. IHS, which went lateral in a kind of trading range, broke down and snapped back, could not get through the highs, and then rolled over hard on a breakaway gap to the downside, followed by a bear flag right to resistance. And then it's rolled over steadily for the last 7 sessions, with yesterday and today's action following through the 80-81 zone support. And at this point, looks like we may be headed towards the mid-70s for a test of this support zone from this high and that low right in here. That's my next target. 74, 4.5. INFY emphasis, massive head and shoulders top, big gap down, stair step lower, snap back to the internal trend line, and then rolled over. A break from here, we could see the stock down around the 53, 55 range short term. Down in here. ITRI continues to look ugly. Itron has rolled over over the last couple of years. It's come down from the 80 range down to the mid 40s, and yet I can see the stock trading even lower, perhaps in the mid 30s before not too long. KRA, strong uptrend, big hit here, kind of a pullback to kiss the trend line or channel that was broken, maybe a bear flag formation, 1, 2, 3 wave corrective rally, could be rolling over. If it does, I'm looking for 31 and then eventually mid 20s. Meredith Publishing, Meredith Corporation, newspaper publisher. If you ask me, they should short every newspaper publisher because who the hell's reading papers in these days? Anyway, from a technical standpoint, we had a head and shoulders top. We broke down, we snapped back, we failed and rolled over. Look at today, down 49 cents and cracking through this line, which could lead very easily down towards 26, my next target. Open, OPEN, down another $1.95 today. Now, after this big crack down here and a stair step move down, we finally got a rally back to resistance in this zone up here. It rolled over, and now it's testing these lows. If that's taken out, look for 61.2 zone. QSFT, Quest Software, really looking ugly these days. Head and shoulders top, crack, bear wedge, lower low, tested support, bounce back to resistance, and then it spiked down to test the next support level down here, but where it could easily get down into the mid-teens before it's not too long. Current swing trade on the short side, SMG, Scott's Miracle-Gro, down at 71 cents today. You can see that the bear wedge that's formed, or bear flag that's formed, began to roll over here. And today, reversed from 51.5 down to 50.30. If this cracks here, and it looks like it's about to, we could either retest the lows at 48.5 or take them out and get down into the mid-40s by trading target 44.45 on SMG. Trex, looking quite ugly with a break, a mini little head and shoulder top, a breakdown, a snap back to resistance in the neckline and the moving averages and trend line. Broke down hard, bear wedge, broke again, bear wedge, broke again, and now a little mini bear wedge. Now at this point, it's quite oversold. I'm not looking for that much more downside, but we may see 16 or so before not too long if this continues. Trimble navigation, which had come down hard here and formed a wedge, which we noted at that time as a potential short. Sure enough, down from 43.75 down to 36.50. Snapped back to resistance, rolled over hard, and now is retesting the lows around 36.5, 37. If that's cracks, we could see 33.5, 34, the next target. Toro, TTC, massive top may be forming. It looks like it's cracking the neckline here. If we do crack 55, though, I'd look for the stock to slide into the high 40s, 50 zone. Vera Bradley, we noted the sharp break in early June. Came down, snapped back to resistance, and now it appears to want to roll over here, down 93 cents today. This is the perfect place to short it with a tight stop above, say, 43.25, 43.5. Any downside movement should get us down towards 36. Secondary target 32.5. VSEC is just absolutely falling apart. It's come down from 54 to 22 and still does not look like a bottom is in. At this point, and move down towards 19.5, 20, may test these lows in 09 and perhaps bottom in that range, but until then, look for some lower levels. And lastly, today's WMS, which massive top formation over a 1 year period, left shoulder, head, right shoulder perhaps, broke down through the neckline, snapped back to it, formed a bear rising coil, or rising wedge, rolled over hard and bounced, formed another wedge, and then came down, bounced one more time, and it's coming down again. Down 86 cents today, bottom of the channel close for a projection down towards potentially 23, and that'll be our trading target for WMS. And that's it for tonight. Quite a few ugly looking charts for you. Have a good evening.